What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's Friday, early day today, luckily, so it's nice. You know, it's always nice on a good payday as well that we get out early. I got some tamales too. Life's good, you know? Talk about the small stuff. If you can't enjoy the small stuff, you can't enjoy you'll be waiting for the big stuff, you know? And those big stuff usually comes once in a while, so you gotta enjoy it when it's here. It's a little cold today. What the hell's on my hand? But it's like glue. I got glue on my hand now. I got it over my steering wheel. Buddy of mine, Teddy. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely unbelievable. I got glue all over my hands now. It's like a sealant. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. This is absolute madness we're living in. Sorry, I can't get over it. Just like all over, smeared all over the wheel now. I don't know how I got it in my hand. I washed my hands before I leave. Oh boy, what did I touch? What the heck did I touch? Oh my gosh. My tamales good? I don't know what I touched. It's not that serious, but it's my tamales. And now I got it all over my hands. And I don't even have any like sanitizer here either. Oh well, you know what? Let me just try to rub it out. Oh my gosh, dude. This is life right here. We're living it, right? All those years of evolution, thousands of years of evolution, just to come to this. You know what? I have wipes. I have lens wipes. We're gonna try and figure that out right now. But anyways, yeah, today was pretty good. My classes started today, so what that means is I have to check them out and then go from there and then see what I got planned. I got a lot of computer classes as my major software development, so we'll see what happens. This isn't really working. I don't think it is, but that's okay. It's kind of helping actually. But yeah, classes today. I'm planning on doing uploading the car video, the car tour, on Sunday, just because that's when I'm most available by myself. Because when I go home, I like to be with my kid, you know, my wife, and my friends flashing at me, and you know, I like to spend my time with them, so I don't want to, you know, be gone for like an hour just outside filming a car video. And you know, while it's a little silly, yeah, you know, it's something I like to do, it's a little hobby, but I'd rather wait on Sunday. It sounds more convenient on a Sunday morning, so I will upload it then by afternoon time. That'll be fun. But yeah, I don't know. I feel positive for my outlook. I think I'm doing the most I can, and it doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't need to be the most you have to do, right? It doesn't mean you have to maximize your efficiency, do the most, you know, out of your time, squeeze the most productivity. Because if you do that, you're gonna burn out. But in the sense that I'm talking about, I'm talking about like I'm doing YouTube. I'm going to school. You know, I'm doing the things I like to do because I realized that I can't wait to be happy until I have all the money, until I have, you know, whatever I want, because by the time it's then, you know, which it could be anytime soon, right, by any stroke of luck, I guess, or genius if I were to come with something, you know. But I enjoy the times right now too. That's what I come to understand, is that I can't always chase something because it's already good as it is, right? With my family, it's amazing. With my life, it's great. You know, my job, it's pretty good. So So it's not about where you are, it's about where you're going, you know? And I think I'm going on a positive line, going up, you know, so that's where I like to be. That's how I like to feel. The worst kind of feeling for me is when I can't do anything about it. It's like, you know, if I'm working all the time, and don't get me wrong, if I'm making a lot of money working, then that's okay, right? Because there are times where you just need money, or where you're fine making just money, because guess what? That pays bills, and you can save a lot of money, right? But when it's like in between, where it's, you know, you're just surviving essentially, where you're making the money, but you're staying all day, and by the time you get home, you're tired, you don't want to do anything. And then, you know, all the money, all the opportunity costs you could put towards doing something else is, you know, it's not there. So, yeah, I mean, but that's not where I'm at. And I'm glad. I'm grateful to be in a better position than I was before. Because they can be different in terms of how you feel, right? You feel, you know, you don't feel, I think for me, it feels like you don't feel it until you're out of it, right? So like when you're in it, when you're in the trenches, it's like, yeah, you're in there, but you don't really like know how bad it is, or you don't know how much, not necessarily how bad, but you don't know how deep you are until you get out, and then you're like, wow, that's how deep it was. And I reflect on that a lot, because I think it's really good to compare yourself to your past self, not anyone else, but to who you were before, and kind of like do like a check off, you know, like, well, you know, what could be better or what could be worse? Can you change it? And if not, then okay, you know, just accept it. But if you can, then change it, you know, for whatever measurement you can to get closer to it. So, and there's a lot of opportunity here in the United States. There really is. I mean, with the money being made here that I'm making, and that giving me a peace of mind, because I'm very fortunate to work in manual labor and leave my work there, right? And I'm sure other jobs are like that too, in terms of high-end jobs. But when you can have a peace of mind, that is absolutely amazing. I mean, I can go home and I think about money because I have money, right? I'm privileged and lucky enough to have that money, and therefore I don't have to think about money per se. I can just think about, well, what do I want to do with my free time? What, you know, well, I can fully focus on things that I want to put my time into. And I think this is this is like a part of it, me doing YouTube, because if I wasn't doing YouTube, or excuse me, I should say, if I wasn't in a position where I could do this, like, just not always tired, you know, then obviously I wouldn't be doing this. But since I'm in a position where I am, I can do YouTube, I can read more, I can draw more, like I talked about in the first video. So I'm really happy that I'm here. There's a sense that there's a new sense of life when you have a kid, and I felt that. You know, funny thing was, I didn't really feel it right away when my wife had. And it's weird to say when we both had our kid, but when my wife had our kid, I didn't really feel. I mean, I love my kid. Don't get me wrong. I said that I didn't love him. It's just that I didn't get that idea, that the new sense of life, I guess, or a new meaning, I guess. But now when I see my kid, now that my kid's more talkative and all that, I see like the human passion, you know. I see what humanity can be at its purest form. And yeah, of course you can be a little obnoxious sometimes, or just as any kid will, obviously that's naturally how they are, because they're just, you know, 1 or 2 years old, and they barely know anything. I mean, I barely know anything, so I'm not judging on that aspect. But more so on the point of being that it's like, wow, you know, there's a bunch of little kids like this. You know, we can do better. We can try. That's I think that's all what humanity really is. It's just hope, just trying that and hoping that something turns out for something better. But my point being with my kid is that I know that sense now, and it's great because, you know, it gives me a stronger will to push even harder than most people. And when I say most people, that doesn't mean that I'm a harder worker. That just means that through my skewed perspective of where I'm at, I'm in the middle, right? I'm not in the bottom in terms of hard work, not any kind of income level or anything like that, but in terms of hard work, I'm not in the bottom, I'm not super lazy, but I'm not at the top, I'm not the most efficient. And that's where I want to specifically point that out. I'm not saying I'm the most busiest, I'm not the most efficient. I'm trying to figure out what, for me, works best and what I want to do in life. That's efficiency, right? When you figure out what you want to do and what you like, and you do it, that's extremely efficient because you're hitting all the targets. You're happy. You know, you're happy doing what you like to do, and you can excel in it. But I don't know. I mean, I used to think about when I was at a crappy job a while back before this job. I used to think about like other alternative dimensions of myself. I used to think like, well, where else could I be? Where else could I have ended up? And I think I finally accepted that it's not about finding myself through work. It's about creating who I want to be through the work and the experiences that I have. So it's like you know, I'm not gonna find myself just randomly through a certain job or, you know, an experience or whatever, but rather I create who I want to be through the things I choose to do, and that kind of, you know, snowballs into what you become, right? So if I stick to doing YouTube and create better quality content, I think eventually I would be a good YouTuber. I mean, by technicality, I guess I am right now because I'm making videos, but more so in the sense of a successful one that would have a decent viewing. And I guess if I had to make a parameter for that, that would be more so like a number would be like, you know, having 10,000 viewers or something. So yeah, I mean, that's what my success would feel like in YouTube. But this is like a project, you know, so I like that. But like I was saying before, I finally realized that my own destiny has to be created by myself. So I can't be thinking that, oh, you know, I could have been somewhere else if I did this, or, you know, I should have been somewhere else. It's like, no, I have free will. I can choose to leave. Yeah, it might suck if I do something else, but I can make it. Because if you think about it, other people are making it too. I mean, I'm not saying everyone's excelling, because I think statistically speaking, a lot of people are on the poverty line. I think, you know, I'm not gonna throw a number out because I haven't checked them in a long time, but it's a majority of people that definitely don't. They live paycheck to paycheck, you know, but there's still people out there. It always makes me think, like, when you go travel somewhere on the road and you go really far and then you see a bunch of houses, you're like, who lives here? What do they do? That's what I was thinking about too. I'm like, people. I used to live in Ohio, and in Columbus, Ohio, actually. And there's this part of I don't know, like just a large area of just really big houses, like big houses. I mean, there's big houses everywhere, but man, this place, it was like I don't know, one of those places where they have a bunch of houses, but they had a lot of houses. I'm like, they can't all be doctors, right? They can't all just be doctors and lawyers or like high-end professions. And you know, of course they can be a combination of both, but I'm like, they can't all just be super high level people, you know. I'm like, there has to be, like, they had to be doing something to make that money. Like, they made it work, essentially. That was my point. I'm like, they make it work somehow. And I even thought of, like, you know, hypothetically going up to each house, like, really, like, if I ever see a nice house, which there are some, like, one right here, but I know that one's like a daycare, so that's out of question, but like houses like this one, or even this one coming up right here, like right here, like that one's a really nice house. So makes me want to go to it and be like, what would you do? What do you do for a living? But even then, it's like, you know, the economics. I feel like the economics of, you know, of our world, United States, everything has changed so much in the last 20 years, 10 years, I guess. That I feel like that advice, if they're an older person, older demographic, their advice wouldn't be necessarily helpful because, you know, a lot of those rates that they had for houses were better and more affordable as opposed to how things are now. I mean, I think it's always like the old joke where, you know, like someone from the older times will say, oh yeah, I worked part-time and that got me through college and got me a car too. It's like, you know, if you get a part-time here, you're not gonna get anywhere. You might be able to afford food if you have your housing, tuition, you know, dorm, food, everything already paid off. But your part-time job is just gonna afford you snacks and food, and you know, maybe a laptop if you save enough money. But you can't afford not through a casual part-time, because if you just put a lot of hours in a part-time, that's a full-time job. So that's different. But you know, I don't know. I just see a bunch of houses and I'm like, what do you guys do for a living? I want to know. I just want to know what you guys do and how you guys did it. And I know a lot of the time is also connections too. So I just know it can be better for everyone too. But I guess, you know, everyone tries. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna probably wrap it up now because I think I said the most I could over my mind, what I thought about today. So I will catch you guys on Sunday. I'm gonna make that video, upload it. Maybe one on Saturday, I'm not sure, but we'll see. So anyways, see you guys next time.